Hey guys, this is Bad Day Guy Gaming back with a re-upload of my Sanctuary Hills tour because, well, YouTube did its thing. The video was okay for a little while, then it ended up going bojanged, and now it's pretty much collapsed on itself. So I'm going to do a new upload to give everybody that didn't get a chance to see the full tour, well, a nice little look. I originally did it as a say goodbye to Sanctuary Hills and Fallout 4 and hello to Starfield, which I am now doing, but I ended up having to reload the game, reset up all my mods in order to reload my save, and give you guys this tour. So, here we go. To make a lot of people a little upset, the first thing I always do is replace the Sanctuary Bridge. The original one, well, it's broken. The pathing never worked properly. It looked okay, but I mean, yeah, the repaired versions never seemed right. So I decided to go with this one because it blends in perfect. And, well, as you can see, all the pathing works properly. So it also extends the build area, lets you put like a burn barrel out here. Ignore the safe, that's just where I dump junk when I come in overloaded. But it also lets you clear some of the trees and brush on this side, which makes sense. The settlers would do that to maintain line of sight and for security reasons. It does help out a lot. Now, as I'm giving the tour, you'll have to notice here, I tend to build in zones. I think it's much more realistic. People would have their own sort of little area, and at the same time, each area is kind of secured on its own. The idea is that, like, the original group comes in, they build their little area, and then as more people join, they build more, and everybody sort of spreads out and does their own little thing. And as you can see here, this is my Minuteman little compound here. It's where they do their training, have their bunkhouse and offices and everything. And as you can see, Preston Garvey here, he stands watch out front. Now there is an entryway in on each side, and of course the bridge, but he gets a look at all of those. Nice line of sight and everything. So he tends to stay out here and stand guard, along with his guard dog here. Now the area is fenced off and secured, and as you can see, there's just the few ways in there. Everything else is pretty much closed off, except for the main entry into the rest of the settlement.
At least it's not
Now,
raining.
they do have their, standard amenities, a little bit of power armor should they need it. They've got their offices and barracks, which I'll get to in a second. But as you can see, they are set up for disciplinary action should they need it, but they've never had to. This young lady did move in very recently. She's set up a little cart here. She's just selling drinks and snacks to the Minutemen and anyone that's in for some weapons training, which Preston does on the side. Her little place here is very sparse, nothing more than a bucket for a toilet, but it's what she's got with just a few days on the job, so she's doing okay. And as you can see, we've got hand-to-hand combat training, heavy weapons training. Looks like somebody's already blown over one of the targets. We've got rifle sighting with just, some basic small items to sight in on. Pistol training. And, well, don't forget, a single turret just to keep an eye over the place. The Minutemen keep it pretty well in charge, or safe and secure, I should say. Preston Garvey there, he does have a Gatling gun, so he does pretty well. We do make most people check their weapons, which the Minutemen here keep an eye on. This is Preston's little podium, where he does his orientation, his daily assignments for his people, and, gives the down low to all of the traders and everybody coming in, especially the first time visiting. They do keep records of everybody coming and going. We have a full comm system to keep up with everybody, and all the usual supplies and things that the Minutemen will need on their patrols. We keep the place warm. The guys are pretty well fed. In the event that somebody gets out of line, we also do have a cell, but it's usually just locals who get a little too tipsy in the evening and need a place to cool off for the night. We've got some basic supplies and equipment. Now, we do have Preston and 3 Minutemen, but there's always at least one on duty, so the regular Minutemen have 2 bunks that they rotate through, while Preston Garvey, of course, being the local garrison commander here, has his own room that's pretty well equipped. He's not too much into possessions. He's a little more of a man of action. But, even though this is all the guys have for a toilet, most of these guys have been living as farmers and scavengers for most of their life, so they think just a bucket is luxury. And this is another one of my settlers here. She helps out with some of the farming, but as people enter through the main security gate here, the first area that they meet is the traders area. They've got a few basic amenities, just a few places to sit sort of comfortably, radio to listen to, some exercise equipment, some basic workbench stuff out here to give them access to some. A little chemistry setup must be because Doc here is visiting currently. Carl is around somewhere, I think, as well. We do have a little old Connex box here that they've converted into a little shelter. Just a place that they can hang out for the night should they need it. But if they are looking for a little bit more, there are other options, but we'll get to those in a second. They do like to hang out down here primarily, though, because, well, this is our junkyard. And now Sturgis came in with the original crew, and he used to live up here in the main little compound area that they had, but after a while he just found he had too much stuff. So he decided to move down and take over the junkyard. He does the usual stuff, small engine repairs, sells furniture and appliances, does a bit of robot repair on the side. If general rule with him is if he doesn't have it, he can get it. And if he can get it, he can fix it. So he's got his odds and ends, some equipment that he does rent out for others to use for construction and such. Does a little bit of a power armor repair on the side too, it looks like. He's got a single turret that helps watch the place, mostly just because of bloat flies and such coming in from the river down there. He's got his own little toilet over here, but he went and ripped off this sign from Concord and put it up here, so I guess it kind of tells you what he thinks of that place after their little unfortunate stay there. But he does some furniture manufacturing for people, shelves, beds, whatever they might need to help them get settled in. He's got his usual supplies of junk and everything, including the old crane that he was able to get down from the vault. Now, nobody really knows how he got this down here. It's almost like he, magically transported it here in the middle of the night or something, but, he got it here. Same with the old front loader here, but that was primarily because he was able to get the engine running, and he uses it to help supply power to the rest of the settlement, so we're quite thankful for that. Oh, by the way, turns out, yeah, Sturgis is also a rabbit guy. They live underneath the porch here, but yeah, wouldn't think of him as a rabbit guy, but apparently he is. One of the other stops that the traders often make is our bathhouse, which Riley here runs for us. Yeah, just take it a peek. Don't worry, give it a tour. As soon as she came in, thing is she's going to start up a regular trading post. First thing she spotted was this old pump and setup that Sturgis had, so of course first thing she did was buy it, get it in here, get the house fixed up here with a little bit of new plumbing installed and such. So not only do they have water though, they have hot water, which I will get to in a moment. So yeah, her bathhouse has turned out to be a huge success. And yeah, she also rents rooms by the hour, but yeah, let's just ignore that for a moment. No, that's okay, just doing a quick tour. She does sell a lot of antibiotics, again, for the by the hour rooms, but this is the men's shower hall here. So baths, showers, basic shaving, some simple amenities. And as you could tell, she also does a laundry exchange. She doesn't sell the new laundry, I guess you would say, fully. People trade in dirty stuff for clean stuff for a fee, and then she takes the dirty stuff, has it washed, and continues on to the next person. This is the women's restroom, which is just a little bit nicer than the men's. The ladies tend to take a little bit more care of the place. And again, here's the hot water, fully plumbed and piped. Cold water goes straight into the tubs. She buckets in the hot water, but yeah, absolute luxury for the people in the Commonwealth. Most people didn't know there was such thing as hot water for a bath, but yeah. She also does her own laundry for the cleaning, again, for the clothing recycle. This is also where the restrooms are. Here's the ladies' room. You know, not too bad. And here's the men's room. That's another reason to buy the antibiotics. Here's Riley's little apartment. She, of course, gets things from her old vault, so she's got some things that are very uncommon in the Commonwealth these days, including proper sheets, beds, mattresses, things like that, because, well, she likes to live a little bit cleaner than the average wastelander. And these are her rooms she rents. Don't ask about the casting couch. Now, she tries to keep the place clean. Just don't look too close at the mattresses. But yeah, she does quite well. You know, cleanliness is next to godliness. And
Looking to trade?
no, 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 I was just doing a tour. And yeah, so she keeps the place up and running, and she tries to do her best to keep us going. Now, I do have a turret here because, well, we do get raiders pop in occasionally coming off from up near the vault up there. If you notice, a lot of the trees and things around here are gone. Between the construction and all the fireplaces and everything, most of the settlers are clearing the place out pretty well. So it has both the effect of giving the place a nice, open, civilized look here to, you know, keep in line of sights for the easy spotting of raiders. That path is also quite heavily used because we have our hunters. We have a husband-wife team. They do all the hunting. They're just currently living in a tent. But yeah, they bring in most of our meat, animals and everything. They do all the butchering, boiling the leather, stretching and cleaning, hanging to dry, all the tanning. They supply, of course, all the meat, both the human and our animal meats. So the dogs are well fed, needless to say here. But yeah, they also plenty of meat, and it looks like they're just finally starting on an actual proper place for themselves. So they've been here just long enough that, yeah, they're doing pretty well for the time being. Now, I'm going to run back over here because, nope, there's one of the hunters there. She's out doing rounds. They do delivery on the meat, so, ooh, looks like somebody set up here with a telescope doing a little bit of stargazing, so that's new. But yeah, here's our third Miniman. He mans the mortar system here. He's got his lunch and his beer, more beer than lunch, but you know, that's typical of the wasteland. Yeah, he's the other Minuteman who's set up down here, which is pretty close to our, well, our fisherman and his son who run this place, and a little bit more. They do free delivery. The son's always out running around doing deliveries. But yeah, fresh fish to order, all the usual. They've got their outhouse. They also supply water to a lot of the people in the settlement. Plus, they've got quite a bit of power production going on down here as well. So they do both boat fishing from the land. Oh, there's the gentleman there. He's feeding the fish, as you can see there. He maintains captive, doing the farming as well as wild caught. Usual production system here, and this is his little place for him and his son. They have, well, pretty much all the basics covered. They do eat pretty well. Fish is in pretty high demand over here, so yeah, he sleeps on the couch. Kid has a bed, but they got a nice cozy fireplace. And, well, it's home. Extra boats, usual supplies. Oh, yeah, the sun. Dad doesn't like the sun on the boat because the sun can't swim. Because, well, let's just say that radioactive water is not the best place to teach your kids how to swim. So, kid sticks to the shore while dad goes out in the boat. But the kid, he pitches in, catches what he can. Now, this used to be one of our old guard posts to watch this side of the river, but the rest of the guards decided it was too much of a pain to walk all the way down here. So we finally just slapped up a turret there that pretty much takes care of everything. And as I said, the power coming in from the water wheel down there is a significant source of our power production for the entire colony here. So that does improve life quite a bit. Enough to, as you can see, Zhenlong there, of course with his depression and hatred of raiders, almost immediately took up guard duty, and with the extra electricity, the spotlights help out a lot. Hello. And, yep, little simple security turret situation here. I love these old trucks with the sandbags. And, oh, by the way, hello, Billy.
Hi there.
I never thought I would see my mom and dad again. Thanks.
You're welcome. Yeah, as you can tell, Billy and his family, I brought them in to live here as well. Wanted to get them out of that old swamp, and yeah, they're doing pretty good. I don't keep Billy assigned any task or anything like that. I like him to just be able to roam free. He's spent enough time in that refrigerator that, yeah, he needs a few 100 years break. But yeah, this is the, I guess you would call it the original compound for my original Concord group where they came in. Do have a couple extras in though, like my clothing shop here. You'll recognize Anne Hargraves. Met her with radio station. She is our clothing connoisseur, although her own style is very interesting. But yeah, she keeps us in clothing and everything. She does some sales, but mostly she does repairs and custom work and gets everybody's clothes back into working condition. She does sell clothes, but not too much of it because most of her business is laundry. She's our main laundry person, so everybody gets her to take care of all of their stuff for them between washing and repairs and the occasional sale. She does okay for herself. She makes a little bit extra money on the side with fresh eggs. Excuse me. The farming. Oh, yeah, here's one of our other families. Her daughter, she helps tend to some of the tomatoes. The farming is kind of spread out. Everybody has their own little sections, their own little places. Hey there, Carla. And, well, let's have a look inside of some of the first area here. We have a general store, a weapons store, and then we have a bar and diner. And if you come in through the front here, you're going to recognize...
What have you got to trade today?
You know what? Since we talked, I'm feeling swell. Look at the two of us here in Sanctuary. Prepared for the future.
That's right. The Vault-Tec guy runs our general store here. He's got a good amount of stuff, reasonably well equipped, even got a working TV. And, there it is. Our radiation queen. Oh, player there. That gives us some actual, somewhat entertainment around here, so that's pretty cool. We turn this off.
The rebuilding of this great
There we
nation
go.
of ours may fall to you. That's why we at Vault-Tec have...
Okay, I'll just do it that way. And then, of course, on this side is our gun shop, and you will recognize good old-fashioned Marcy Long. Marcy, with, again, her hatred of raiders, decided to go into the gun business. She's doing quite well for herself. Reasonable demand for weapons in this area, although we've made it a lot safer. She also provides modding, maintenance, and care. So, okay, I'm going. But yeah, she handles the weapons sales in the area. here is our, well, bar, restaurant, and the local proprietor, Mr. Sheffield here, who's doing quite well. He did have to give up alcohol, though, because his doctor said he shot his liver. So now he just serves the stuff. And, of course, his general motto, which is life is beer, 24 hours a day, is still his motto, although he still is mostly on the serving side rather than the partaking side. But turned this place into a pretty good, pretty well stocked little facility, and people enjoy it quite well. He does make some of his own alcohol, and that helps with the profit margins a little bit. We do have a simple outhouse out here for the patrons and everybody in the local area. Most of the original crew and everybody just uses that one little one there. And again, carrots, potatoes growing, some odds and ends around, have some aster flower, and oh, looky, dog meat. That's a good pack mule. And he's got his little hangout house there, although he doesn't sleep there that much. He mostly sleeps inside here because this is Mama Murphy's place. She decided to take up hair. So she started her own little beauty parlor. And I don't know if you've noticed, but yeah, we did rip off the original garage onto this place. Or at least Sturgis decided we were going to. And he used the parts for most of the repairs on the place. And then, of course, it was like 2 days later, Mama Murphy decided she wanted a barber shop. So we ended up having to rebuild right in the place of the old garage a spot for her to do her hair cutting. And she's collecting up because she says business is doing so well she needs an assistant. So she's got her little waiting area here, but she also has her little break area here that's a little more private where she sits and watches her The End of the World show, I think she calls it. And this is her living room of the house. Now, Mama Murphy and I share this place because I like to keep her close to keep an eye on her. But this is her living room with my work area on the opposite side. We do have the fridge, basic terminals and things that we use for our work, weapons storage and display, explosives, workbench, basic supplies, and of course my power armor room. This is where I keep everything nice and secure for myself, some basic equipment, weapons, supplies, and a nice secure location. For the rest of the house, I've got my own little computer set up here. So with this terminal, I just mostly play computer games and stuff, but you know, it's kind of a lost art in the post-apocalypse. This is Mama Murphy's little residence here. Kind of nice. She was one of the first people that we started supporting when we got here. So as soon as we got here, everybody got settled in. We started pumping her with, you know, nice blankets, anything we could find, just because we were a little more protective of her. So she ended up with kind of one of the nicer rooms, although she had a little trouble making it to the outhouse across the street in the middle of the night. So we decided to give her own little setup in her room there with some privacy so that she could, you know, not have to struggle so much to get over there to the outhouse. But this is my room with my cereal and milk in bed, traditional me. And let's see, locker with some basic supplies, some standard amenities, nothing super special. I don't really need much. I'm mostly out running around the Commonwealth anyway. And of course Jun Long there with his Gatling laser. He watches off the backside from this guard position and moves over to the one over at the front there. Now this was originally closed off, but then as more people moved in, we needed to be able to get through. So we ended up taking another section of the fence out, and looks like somebody's getting ready to do some building over here. Maybe fix it up a little bit more. But yeah, we had to open this up to get more people in on this side because, well, we got farmers in and more farmers and then more farmers, and so the crops are expanding. We needed more water. So we got our wind water pump here up and running. This keeps all of our fields in plenty of water and irrigation, so everybody's able to keep, well, pretty much the whole place stocked up with food. So as you can see, we got quite a bit. Basic melons over here. Mr. Peabody. Hey there, how's it going? Him and his wife and little Billy came over to help us. And between those guys and the other families, we have, Miss Marcus here.
Even if, well, I don't believe all of her wild stories.
Yeah, well, these guys came in, provide a little extra help. So with all of this, that is the fisherman's son. He must be helping out with some of the flowers up here. He's supposed to be doing deliveries, but, well, as you can tell, we have grain silos, basic equipment. We decided to turn the old root cellar into waste storage for all of our radioactive materials, which is kind of funny because our ghoul residents call it the sauna. They like to go down there and hang out. They say it makes them feel better, but hey, to each their own. We got some mute fruit over here growing. Got a couple of people that help tend to that stuff. Some little basic supplies and things around. Everybody has their own uses. Radios, things like that. Everybody feels safe here, so they tend to have a little bit of fun and seem pretty happy with the place. Now, Mr. Marcus, he's over there somewhere. He has a couple of guard posts here. This little section, the loop here, which is walled off, except for this one way in and out. We call this the hippie circle here. It's got our armorer, our doctor, guards, and the rest are all pretty much our farming community here, as you can tell with all the plants and everything. Mr. Peabody, his wife, and Billy live in this house. Turns out she used to be a school teacher before the war, so she runs the local classroom. Between the 3 kids we have here, they do classes a couple times a week, just a few hours a day, but they teach the basics, the things the kids need to know. Teaches them how to read, write, how to read maps and make maps, basic anatomy, so you know where to aim, first aid, health, how to use different herbs to make up various chems and remedies and things people need. The usual basic stuff. When to use an umbrella, how to wear a gas mask, all the things that a kid needs to know to survive in the world. Back here is their actual residence. Now, being pre-war, they're a little more into the TV sets, a little more into art, hobbies, things like that. He was even playing around with some of the ham radio stuff. But yeah, they tend to have a little bit nicer home because, well, they had a home before the war, so they know what it's really all about. If you come back here and check out their residences, you will see, their bedroom is okay. It's not great. They got the things they need. They're not going without, and that's primarily because every cap they have goes into Billy. Of course, after being trapped in the fridge for so long, if there's anything he sees he wants, they get it. They're just pretty much spoiling him now, so he's doing a lot better. They've got the usual cleaning supplies and everything. They've got a almost completely working bathroom. Yeah, there it is. He's still working on the plumbing a little bit, so the sink still drains into a bucket. But yeah, that's pretty much the way the whole place is. I guess it's sort of a symbol of the entire Commonwealth. But yeah, they take care of the meat, which also provides a lot of the fertilizer and stuff like that for the rest of the farm and everything. So that's pretty cool. This is the Marcus residence. Again, Mr. Marcus, who is wandering around over there, heading back and forth between his guard posts. Him and his wife live here with their daughter and also the doc. Doc here turned this old school bus into the Massachusetts Candy District. Drugs, just for those who don't know. She is kind of a lifeline for us here. She's pretty well stocked. She can handle almost everything that comes about. So from broken bones to bullet wounds, she's pretty much got it covered. Now, Mr. Marks' little guard post up here is also just kind of an excuse for her to have access up here to the roof because she likes to hang out and get some sun. So if you get that reference, you're as old as I am. And the Marcus family who live here, now Miss Marcus and the doc here like to hang out and gossip a lot, so they've got their own little area for that. But as far as the inside of the house goes, they've got, again, another working television, a decently appointed home with a good old-fashioned shotgun over the fireplace. Now, they did do a little bit of modification to this place because of the old ditch out back. Instead of trying to get the bathroom running, they just built it in over here and just chunked into the concrete, and everything drains directly into the ditch out back. So that was pretty smart of them, because they were able to turn the extra restroom into their daughter's room, which again, they tend to spend a lot more money on the kids than normal, but they did that so that her old room could be rented out to the doc, who's got, it's a little sparse, but she tends to spend most of her time in the clinic, which is kind of cute. The daughter gave her a Mr. Jingles here, and yeah, she loves it, so she keeps it on her bed. But this is the parents' room. Nothing super fancy, but, they got everything they need. And, of course, being farmers, they spend most of their time outside. You should have seen the hole they used to live in. That place was terrible. Now, this is our general bunkhouse for the newcomers. Oh, yeah, Mr. Marcus has an army of cats that follow him around all over the place. We have our outhouses for the guests and new people who don't have their own restrooms in their own houses. But yeah, we have the women's restroom and the men's barrel. This is our main bunkhouse and guest house. We have free food for all the newcomers. It's mostly just cram, vegetables, and dog food soup, but hey, it's free food, more than most of them have had in a long time. Just a basic place to sit and eat, some amenities, some games, a little bit of entertainment, music if they want. They like to play games. Speaking of games, we have a little toss challenge, which explains why that inn room is always up for rent. Nobody wants to live there. But yeah, we have some basic amenities and things for them. Some of our new farmers there's a couple of ladies that are sharing this place, and they're so new, they're still trying to get some basic furnishings put in. These two guys have been here for a while, so they're getting a little bit better appointed. I think it's not going to be long before they're going to start looking at moving out, getting their own place. And of course, this is our armor. He's got all his junk around and everything he makes his armor out of. Looks like he's working on a set of power armor, if that's what you want to call it. And yeah, he's got some basic amenities around. Does his usual armor sales. He's doing decent for himself. Traditional bachelor, by the way. So yeah, his work and living spaces kind of meld into one another. But yeah, he's got his home/workplace here. He's got his own little outhouse. Does most of his work inside here, but as you can see, the work and life kind of blend into each other pretty often. He's got his own little place to sleep back there. Traditional bachelor life. Oh, just passing through, doing a tour. So yeah, this is pretty much the place. You've seen it all at this point. I could do you a quick run around the outside, but there's not much to it beyond the fact that, well, if you remember the Minuteman that sacrificed himself just outside the door of the Museum of Freedom, we were able to retrieve him and give him a proper burial. And then just a few houses down, there was another young lady who again sacrificed herself for the group, so we were able to recover her and give her a proper burial. And so we feel a little bit better about that. That made Preston really happy. Oh yeah, again, we're slowly clearing out the forest around the place to get better line of sight and better view. But yeah, the whole place is walled off here at the little circle side. So between the separate little zones with their secured points of entry and everything, the place is pretty well secure. People are starting to feel safe enough to wander around without their weapons drawn, things like that. So this is Sanctuary. Now what I'm going to do is find a place to sit down. I'm going to let it go to nighttime to give you guys a quick look around at what this place is like at night. You know what? I know exactly where I can go. Okay, never mind. It won't let you wait on that one. Never tried that before. It's not going to let me sit in the patio chair either. What is up with this? I think I have a glitch. Try the couch. There we go. Let's go to 1020 at night. Nice and dark. You guys will be able to see with the lighting. I tend to go more realistic with the lighting. We got a few lights inside, so as you can see, the place is lit up reasonable. All of the houses and everything are like this. If you go outside, simple exterior lighting. We've got a couple of working street lights. But we tend to keep it not overbearing. I mean, I don't want the place lit up like a modern metropolitan area. It does attract the bad guys. Oh. Yep, that'll do. Get rid of the hunger and thirst there from that weight. But as you can see, it's not too bad. Everybody has enough light to live by without it being in your face. The few street lights that are around light up mostly the main areas. With the outer areas, you tend to have burn barrels in places. And we do keep all the wood and everything stocked for that as well. That people can move freely from point to point without... Nice stars. People can move from point to point without feeling in danger, with just enough light that they can find the things they need. Some light out at the edges, just enough to keep the rad roaches, things like that away. Some main lights inside. And again, all the interiors are much more naturally lit, such as in this room, most of the light comes from the fireplaces. Again, we've got our spotlights on some of our barricades out here that do help keep the place lit up. But again, most of the rough area out here is due to fireplaces, with just a handful of street lights lighting up some of the more major areas. Oh, I'm a Murphy. You okay?
Robert thinks I'm crazy talking about him. All the same, we can't
Nope.
tell there's some bad,
Careful, Doc.
then is it
But yeah, even Sturgis, who supplies a lot of the electricity, doesn't keep his place lit up too much. But we have enough to keep all of our turrets going, all of the lights and everything that we have. See, she does decent business over here, even though she just sells drinks and noodles and snacks. We do have a couple of lights lighting up the bridge here, burn barrel at the end, which is just enough to silhouette the place. But yeah, this is Sanctuary at night and a Sanctuary build. This will be my final ever build video in Fallout 4, because I am now doing Starfield, and I just wanted to re-upload this so that all the people that missed out the first time before the video went YouTube Bojanks on us, they'll get a nice view and see what several years worth of building experience and a couple hundred mods can do for Sanctuary Hills. This is Bad Day Guy Gaming signing off.